BBC Radio Berkshire is Chain Smokers and Coldplay, something like this. Now, there's a new book out. It's called You Part 2, Thriving in the Second Half of Your Life. And it's been written by Campbell McPherson and his wife Jane, and it's got rave reviews. So Kirsty Young, former Desert Island Disc presenter, said, forget your cardigan and your slippers, just buy this book. I love it. A clear-headed, invigorating and inspiring guide to the rest of your life. And I thought, right, okay, I think that anybody kind of 40 plus, we are in the sweet spot of this book. And I thought we should get Jane on and ask her all about it. Hey, Jane, good afternoon.
Hi, Babs. How are you?
I'm all right. Now, I'm 53, Jane. Is this book for me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's for really anyone from the age it's pitched about 45 plus, and is relevant to anybody who is going through some changes in their life. I'm obviously looking at it from a female point of view, particularly with the menopause and such things that are happening in our lives that are causing us to reflect on what we're going to do for all those number of years ahead of us.
It's a daunting prospect, Jane, because this has been on my mind recently quite a bit, because we are trying to decide where we're going to live. So we're in the middle of moving house. We don't know where we're going to live. But the other thing with that is we are thinking, is this house going to be right for us into older age? And so we're like, should we buy a bungalow? Should we just bite the bullet? And all my friends were laughing. I said, hey, hang on a minute. I might, and I was like, maybe we should buy a bungalow. So we've been looking, but our minds have been blown. So how is this gonna help me in the latter part of my life, Jane?
Okay, so the book really talks about a lot of things. It talks about ageism, for instance, and it's, the fact that it's the most commonly experienced form of prejudice and discrimination in the UK. It talks a lot about ageism in the workplace as well. The fact that so many people in their sort of 45 plus believe that that unfortunately they're not valued by their employers. And also, a study of about 10,000 companies, I think it was done, 61% of businesses see age as a competitive disadvantage. So we talk a little bit about that. We talk about working in the second half of your life, the fact that many small businesses are being started up by older people, and they succeed. They're the ones that are succeeding. So we talk about, it's a very positive book about helping you view these the years ahead of you in a positive way. Obviously, we're all going to come across pitfalls. We're all going to come across challenges, whether it be medical, whether it be in our relationships, whether it be with our children or our parents, or choosing a bungalow versus not a bungalow. but it's what it's trying to say is, actually, we've got so much to offer. We've got so much to live for. Yes, there are going to be challenges. It's all about having a positive attitude, not in a sort of cheesy sort of way. It's very practical about how to cope with money issues, for instance, how to cope with some health issues. I come at very much from, because I'm a yoga therapist and a yoga teacher, I talk a lot about how some philosophies of yoga, but also some practices of yoga can really, really help us embrace this time of our life and look forward to it, rather than thinking about what we are losing, what are we leaving behind.
Yeah, because when people talk about, getting older, and like you say, 45 plus, I mean, I have friends, I've had this discussion because one of my best friends had her 51st birthday this weekend, and she had a big party in her garden. And, as the evening went on, we've all known each other for 30 years. It's a long time. We were young women when we met, and we were wild. We were known for it. And we were all sitting there about 11:30. It's like, it's a bit nippy, isn't it? I quite fancy hot chocolate. And everybody started laughing. And they were like, you've changed, Babs. I said, it's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's okay. You know, we're not in our 20s anymore. And it saddens me sometimes that, you know, we do the use of the culture of youth is obviously very much what everybody talks about. You know, we need to look younger, we need to dress younger, we need to act younger. And actually, we are different. Our generation is, there's no doubt, is different from perhaps our grandparents' generation, maybe even our parents' generation. And it's okay that we're not, you know, in our 20s. But we've got so much more. We've got experience. We've got very good friends, very good relationships that you built over those 30 years in your case. And we've got so much to offer still. So I think that's the crux of the book.
That's really, really important, isn't it? And recognising that, you know, we do still have a place and, you know, we do have loads still to offer. And it's not the end. It's the beginning of a second phase, isn't it?
Exactly.
And I know, for example, my mum is in her just over her mid-70s, and you know, when I see my mum, she's rocking a pair of DMs and some skinny jeans, got a leather jacket on, and I'm like, my mum is way cool, you know. And I just sort of think that's all right, you know. And when I walk down the street with her, I'm like, looking good, mum, look great. And she was like, not too much. I was like, it's never too much. You look great.
No. And what an inspiration for you.
Yeah. And you know, you think, well, I'm 53 and she's sort of 20 years plus older than me. If I look as good as her and cut a dash like she is, I'll be really happy.
I think it is. And I think it's also, she clearly looks, you know, that looks fantastic, but clearly she's got that attitude. Yeah. You know, that, you know, we realise aging is inevitable, you know, and we're saying aging is inevitable, but growing old isn't. And clearly your mother personifies that. And actually, interestingly, there was a report done in America that people, they call them flourishers, people who have a positive outlook on life, you know, that sense of purpose or a sense of community, actually are far healthier than people perhaps who don't feel good about themselves, who hide away, and I feel that really sad. And I think there's no need, you know, we've got so much to offer and so much to be grateful for. As I said, clearly it can be a bumpy ride as well. But you know, the attitude that we have towards getting older, I think, is so important.
Jane, I've loved this chat with you, and honestly, it's made me think, right, I need to buy this book, Little Stocking Filler, for all of my besties that I was with at the weekends. Yeah. I think we all need a copy.
Read, yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I really hope you enjoy it. And and let us know what you think. We've got a website as well, which is full of tips as well about how to make the most of the second half of your life, called You-Part-2, I think it's something like that anyway. Okay. And it's got lots of tips on how to really make the most of it and to thrive.
I'll definitely have a look. The book is called You Part 2, Thriving in the Second Half of Your Life, and it's by Campbell and Jane McPherson. Thanks for coming on the show. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you.
It's been lovely talking to you. Thank you, and good luck with the bungalow.
Jane. Thank you. Bye. Bye.